Hey everyone, how's it going? Doing another video on a little trade recap video. I had a pretty solid day today, so I'm just gonna quickly go through these trades. I think there was like pretty solid stuff going on in the market, like good amount of stocks popping, which made it pretty easy to get um, in and out of position. So. First trade I took, I believe, was LTRY. I tried to get in some other ones. I can't remember what exactly happened, but um, I was kind of struggling to get orders filled, which is fine. But I got in at this 2.28 level. I was trying to get in close to where this topped out at 2.4, but I kept seeing resistance here, so I went ahead and got in here for a starter position. So I only had 1K shares here. I actually never retested where I could add. It just sort of started dumping. So I started covering into these dumps. Eventually got all out here because this was near where we opened, basically. It ended up going a little bit lower, but I was fine with kind of this play. So netted $86 on this really small MAE, which I'm happy about. Next, IMNN. This one kind of unfortunate in the sense of what price action was showing. It was showing kind of clear manipulation, like the wicks under $1 essentially were getting bought up, and $1 was showing a strong support. So I ended up taking a loss on this because I saw that 1.12 was becoming support again. Took the short at 1.05, pretty solid entry, risking 1.09. Covered most of it in this down wick here. It flushed through the bid, so I thought this would keep selling off, which is why I held. But it just crawled its way back up. It got rejected again. It didn't like break through high of day, so I kept holding. But I didn't cover any on this drop to one again. I probably should have in retrospect, but it's okay. I ended up adding a little bit more at this 1.09, 1.1 level, and it ended up breaking out. And when I saw that support seemed to be forming at 1.12, I went ahead and got out. So was up $100 at one point, but ended up down $60, which is fine. Um, Next NVTS. Let me just open these again just to see if. Okay, these aren't calculated. NVTS took the short here, covered some into this initial dump, was risking high of day, saw it break out and just covered. Was hoping to play it down sort of like LTRY, but that didn't work out. And then Xena was a solid trade. Oh, whoops. So, had two entries on this. I saw that there was overhead resistance at 3738, but I saw in real time resistance at 3.4. And so I went ahead and got into a starter position, and then I managed to snipe the top of 373 when it got up there. So I was looking at, I was feeling the price action here as like momentum slowing. It ended up breaking out, which is why I just got a starter position, didn't take on too much risk. At this point, I was in for $2,000, and so with 5K as my max position size, I was anticipating to keep adding into those resistance levels I saw, but we ended up cracking and selling down. So sold some here. I got out about half my position at this point, and then just covered 25% into these dumps. Didn't feel like holding it because at this point it's like, what am I risking? I'm risking it coming back to 3.7. Why not just get out here? There's not that much room to fall, so it's not really worth holding that. I think my average cost on both entries was like 355. Didn't want this to climb back, become a loss when so much of the move already happened. Could figure you could just short into any pop later. But that's not really how I play anyways, so didn't short into a second pop. AEON, Aeon, or however you would say it. Played basically high of day as my risk when I saw resistance. I saw resistance at 0.79, but I didn't want to enter there because you're risking a lot more. So waited until it popped over that, got in at 8.2. It sold off a little bit, then climbed back up. I wanted to short if it went above 8.4. I didn't want to get that exposed up here. So I just held through that sort of wick above and then it ended up dumping hard. So I took some of my profits here, took a little bit more. I saw support start to form, so I just got out, but it ended up dumping down. In retrospect, I should have held this one. This was like a perfect one to hold, but I had to start work, so I didn't worry too much about that. And then I got into IMNN a second time, was able to snipe the top. I'm not seeing my entries here. It might come in later. I'll just pull up Thinkorswim. So looking at IMNN here, just looking to see if anything else is popping. Nothing's catching my eye though. So, looking at these levels I sort of mapped out, it started reaching this 1.27. So I got in at 1.32. I saw this wick. I wanted to get in closer to 1.4. I saw it wick up to 1.34, but it didn't keep pushing higher. So I went ahead and got in at 1.32 about, and then it dumped basically immediately, and I got out most of the position. Looks like it's kind of showing here. So 1.32 and then 1.24, 1.2. I basically got out. So I ended up closing net positive on IMNN. Took a $67 loss, then a $77 win. So it ended up working out. I just wanted to add, I was pretty happy about today's trades because the max position size I had on all of these was $2,000, which typically my max position size is like 4 to 5,000. Well, I meant like what it's not technically my max for my risk tolerance, but it's the max I would reach. And so overall, like pretty happy about it. Um, I don't go by share size when I'm doing my position because the smaller, I guess the cheaper stocks work out better for me, so I naturally want to take on more risk for those anyways. Um, so yeah, was very happy about today. I think after commissions, I was like 280 in profit, maybe a little less. With 2,000 of a max size, like a 10% return, and then I'm done in like, what was it? Probably like the first hour, hour and a half of the trading day, which is really good in my eyes. I want to keep getting into this point where I'm using a max size of like 2 grand. That way I could start scaling up a lot faster since I could essentially just double my position size or quadruple it. Um, so yeah, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Peace.